some names that we already know very much about, but I'm sure a few more trying to line up for a dinner invitation.
Yeah, I mean, everyone seems to be making their way to Mar-a-Lago. There is a very different feel this time around, Caroline, as you might recall from 2016. At that point, Trump did hold that sort of famous meeting in Trump Tower where all of the tech executives ended up coming, but it felt more like they were almost forced to be there, right? And they were dealing with their employees back at headquarters, mostly in Silicon Valley, complaining and protesting and all this stuff. This time it feels different. They're going sort of one by one. They're having dinner at Mar-a-Lago. They're, being very friendly. And I think the awkward situation here is the Elon Musk of this all, right? Because all of these people are competitors in some way or another to Elon or his companies. And often when they're showing up to dinner, in some cases like Jeff Bezos from Amazon, Elon Musk is at the table, right? And how much can you really say to Donald Trump? How much can you really accomplish when one of your biggest enemies is sitting right there across the table from you?
Certainly, space competition fierce between Blue Origin and SpaceX, Kurt. But ultimately, what do you think that they will achieve by giving small, in the case of the absolute balance sheets they have, but small amounts towards the inauguration of Trump, and indeed these meetings where they're showing off? I think Mark was showing off the Meta glasses and the latest innovations to President-elect Trump. Going forward, how is this sort of dovetailing into actually what they want to see from a legislative agenda?
Yeah, I think everyone sort of is in agreement that the best way to stay on Donald Trump's good side is to, praise him, to show up and sort of demonstrate that with a public display of affection, right? Whether that be a $1 million donation to the inaugural fund, showing up to dinner and making that trek across the country to be there in person. And every one of these companies wants something different, but I think generally, if you want a blanket statement, they don't want him to come in hard with regulation around all the technology they're building, especially with regards to AI, right? Like the last thing Mark Zuckerberg wants, for example, is for the Trump administration to suddenly say, hey, we're going to try to hamper this AI growth, or we're going to make it very difficult for you, Mark Zuckerberg, in particular, because you didn't show up to Mar-a-Lago and make Trump feel special, right? And so I think they are all doing what they need to do just to simply be in his good graces in hopes that those relationships, because they are so important to the incoming president, those relationships will ultimately help, make their road easier over these next 4 years.